was what?
My mom worked in the office as an assistant to the principal.
At the school as well.
Yeah, but could have easily been a professional chef. I mean, not arguably. I mean, one of the greatest cooks I've ever. And not because she's my mother.
Right.
But the more you travel and then you come back and you taste her food, you go, I don't know how she did that.
Really? Where did she learn? Are they like first generation, the two of them?
Yeah, she learned from her mother. So they were born, my parents were born in America.
Right.
But her parents were born in Italy and my dad's parents. And she learned from her mom.
So that's where you got your love of it.
Yeah. And she really became then an autodidact. I mean, she really just, all she read was, were cookbooks, and she taught herself.
I love it. I fucking love cooking when I'm, especially lately. My mother was a terrible cook, just awful. So
I'm sorry.
Was incapable, really, and had and still does a manageable eating disorder.
Oh,
so
wow.
she was. Don't get too concerned. She's okay. She's healthy.
All right.
But she resented food. But as I got older, I had a professor who taught me, it wasn't the class, but we became friendly, that you could just learn how to cook.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
And I love to do it. And it's weird when I'm cooking now. I've got this smoker, like a suburban smoker.
Oh, wow.
And I smoked, I'm doing Jew food because I'm a Jew, and I smoked I've been smoking my own fish.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you, what kind of fish?
I smoked some sturgeon yesterday. I dry brined it in salt, garlic powder, and sugar.
Shit.
Then I let it sit overnight. And then I smoked it for 4 or 5 hours, basted it with honey, put some paprika on it, chilled it, and ate it this morning for breakfast with some beets and horseradish like a Jew.
Man, that's pretty Jewish.
Yeah, and I pickled some onions. I made kasha varnishkis the other night.
What?
I mean, what the fuck? Yeah.
Where do you live, in Kiev? Or somewhere? What?
Maybe my heart
Minsk?
does.
What?
Yes.
Wow. I love that.
I made it with schmaltz. Stanley,
you did?
I made it with... Yeah.
That's so good.
I rendered the schmaltz from a bone broth I was making, and I made the fucking kasha with schmaltz. And now I gained 9 pounds in 4 days.
Good.
But what do you go to? You're a cook. You write cookbooks. So if you're feeling bad and you want to eat your feelings, what do you do?
I cook comfort food. I cook.
Right. Which ones?
A lot of pasta. I love pasta in varying forms. I like pasta with really simple pasta marinara, pasta with tuna and tomato. Right.
Right.
Delicious with lots of onion, super sweet, delicious. Pasta with peas and tomato, carbonara. I love, which I learned how to make properly when I was doing this television show this year and last year. And pasta. Today I made pasta with cannellini beans, kale, and a little bit of tomato, and some chicken broth.
Beautiful.
And it's like a pasta fagioli, sort of.
Yeah.
But I eat it literally practically every day.
Do you make the homemade pasta, or you buy the?
No, we occasionally make homemade pasta, but normally
it's a bit
of
a chore, right?
Well, yeah, with 2 little kids and the thing. No, you can't. No,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, they want to make up shapes and animals. Do you ever do la matriciana?
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
Do you use the guanciale?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's different, right? You could use the other one.
Pancetta.
No good.
No,
you can't.
It's good. It's fine. But once you have guanciale, it's it's completely elevated.
It's like, what is that? How is that so different tasting?
It's fucking, I don't know. Well,
it's the jowl.
I do know it's the jowl, and it's also the way it's cured, and that extra sort of thickness of the skin and the pepper that's put on top, which is the way you should make carbonara with that.
With the guanciale.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's not as easy to find as pancetta.
No, it's not easy to find. I mean, now on the internet, it's actually easier than it used to be.
Oh, they'll send you got like before the internet. You had to have a guanciale guy.
Yeah, you had the guanciale guy, or you had to, make your own guanciale.
That's the time consuming. It's better to have the guy.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about cooking, and like here, like especially in L.A. You never lived here, though, did you?
No.
Like when I get obsessed with a dish, I was dating a woman who years ago who liked bucatini alla matriciana, so I got to figure out how to do it correctly, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even know if she ever had it with guanciale, but I had to go find guanciale in Los Angeles, which turned out was not easy. Not easy.
No, because I found this every time I've spent time in Los Angeles. There's not a huge number of Italian. No. I mean, up north, there are more.
That's true.
Because of the climate and very quite different in all the wine country and it's very different.
A few up there.
But L.A., it was like when I first started going there 400 years ago, I was like, where are the Italian delis? Nothing.
There's not.
No.
And the ones that are here aren't even that good. You know what's amazing for Italian food and Italian delis? New Jersey.
Oh, yes. See, I haven't spent a lot of time in New Jersey, but yes, it's a huge Italian-American population. Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be like just driving down the highway. It's like, you think that Italian place is any good? Of course it is. Yeah. It's New Jersey.
But wait, where are you from?
I'm genetically New Jersey. I grew up in New Mexico mostly, but my parents are both from Jersey. My family, they're all Jersey Jews.
Jersey Jews, but you grew up in New Mexico.
For like, third grade through high school. Yeah.
Wow.
Albuquerque. You ever shoot in Albuquerque?
I have.
Yeah? Which one?
I almost shot myself in Albuquerque too. Oh
yeah?
No, I'm kidding. Yes. No. Well, it was tough. Yeah.
What show?
Yeah, I spent a week there one night. It's that joke. No, it was. But there were some nice places. But no, it was a movie I did with Kevin Costner and Nathan Lane. Swing Vote.
You were all stuck in Albuquerque, you and Nathan and Kevin.
Yes, but then we ended up moving outside to this nice little hotel in the kind of desert, and you had a beautiful view of the mountains, and it was quite nice. Pretty. Yeah,
it's pretty. Yeah. It gets a bad reputation. Got a little beat up over time. Wait, so the big movie, like the first time I remember hearing about you in a big way was the Big Night movie, which is food based, and you did that with Campbell Scott, right? Mm-hmm. And you talked to him?
I haven't talked to Campbell for a long time, no, but we went to high school together. In
Katona?
No, we went to John Jay in South Salem.
So you hang out at his house, he hangs out at your house?
Yeah.
Was George C. Scott there?
No, he was not there. No.
Colleen Dewhurst was around.
Colleen, yes.
Did you act in high school?
Yes, Campbell and I acted in high school together, and
oh, you did?
I loved it. I mean, I really loved it. Yeah, we had this really cool guy who was
right from the get-go.
Yeah, he this wonderful teacher who was he was the music teacher. He was, he ran the chorus. He did the plays. He was this really wonderful guy who lived in Manhattan and commuted to Westchester every day. He did the opposite of what everybody else did. And he was a very sophisticated, really, really lovely guy. We did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead in our high school.
In high school?
Yeah. I mean,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cool.
He was an inspiration?
He was just really cool. And at that time, it's the 1970s, you could go. It was an open plan school, like most of them were in Westchester. A lot of them were in Westchester. And so, you walked outside all the time from class to class, building to building, and you had this beautiful theater in the school. But then there was an annex, which was his domain, and the annex was just this separate, cool building where just one room where you did choir practice, or you auditioned for plays, or you practiced plays, or he did acting classes, and he'd bring people in from the community who had been in show business and have talks. And this guy was like, amazing.
Isn't it amazing? Like when you think back on that guy, just one teacher in your life, in your high school, could probably change the entire course of your life.
He did completely. And I'll tell you the thing that makes me sort of sad now is that if we just look at the architecture of the school, there was an openness to it. But there was also an openness to the curriculum and to teaching. And my father will attest to this, having been an art teacher, that so much of that has disappeared. And it's really unfortunate. I visited the school a number of times, and it was heartbreaking because they basically enclosed the school. So there was a physical manifestation of what was happening educationally. And I found that depressing.
Well, it's sad. It's sad what's happened to education in general. But I imagine, in the 70s, everything that was coming in, not only was it more a liberal culture, but I mean, there was a lot of things changing in approaches to education, to theater, to film, to everything.
Yeah.
So if that guy's down in New York and he's coming up and he's bringing all these new ideas, it must have been exciting. And to be in high school at that time where your brain is just opening up in the early 70s, it must have been just mind-blowing.
It was fantastic. I mean, like where my dad taught, it was this really great school. And, they had a kiln where they would, make pottery. The fire thing. They had a jewelry station, this and that. But they had a smoking area. This is the weird part. They had a smoking area for students right outside the art room.
Right. It's a little dubious. That was questionable.
Dubious. I mean, since the research had come out in the 1950s, 60s. Yeah.
I think what it was is I think that schools, because you could smoke in my high school outside.
Yeah.
And I think they were just like, we're not going to stop them. How are we going to stop them?
Well, everybody fucking smoked. I mean, everybody smoked.
I loved it. I'm so happy. I don't miss cigarettes, but I was on nicotine until just a year or so ago. I would stay on I'd do the gum and the lozenges. I just loved it.
Did you do the patch thing?
No, because I wanted to feel the high. I've been on and off the patch, but I like the lozenges. They're like nicotine candies.
Oh, really?
Did you smoke?
I smoked, but I was never a devoted smoker. I mean, it was something I could take or leave. It wasn't.
Is there anything that you can't take or leave that was like a problem?
Exercise. I'm not kidding. That sounds funny. Exercise and martinis.
Oh, you like the martinis?
I like martinis.
Yeah.
And pasta.
So did you move to New York City to start the career? I mean, you went to school, you went to college and did the acting?
Yeah, I didn't really go far. I went to SUNY at Purchase, which is, the State University of New York, because, it was affordable and it was a conservatory and one of the best programs in the country because, like I said, it was a conservatory. You had to audition to get in. They took 30 students per year, and you were in what was called a company. Yeah. And you stayed in that company for 4 years with the same teacher, which I'm not so sure was a great idea. But luckily, I had a brilliant teacher, so that was
Who was that?
Fine. A guy named George Morrison, he was one of the original Second City people, and he ended up having a school with Paul Sills and Mike Nichols in New York after he left Purchase.
Really? Mike Nichols? Did you ever work with Mike Nichols?
No, I didn't, but I knew Mike Nichols, and he had asked me to do a few things, and I couldn't do them, and I was heartbroken because if there was one director I wanted to work with, it was Mike Nichols. But
was that guy?
It was the timing of things, or it wasn't quite right, But I got to know him, and I was even more enamored of him once I met him.
What was your first real gig?
Well, I guess I was cast in I don't remember. I did like some commercial things or a little thing off Broadway or something. But then I did like a Miami Vice, I think was the first thing I ever did on television. Like just playing, it was just like 2 scenes. I hadn't really experienced America. So I went to Florida and I shot there for a few days. It was really weird. And then I ended up going back and played another role as a mafioso. And then I started to do a lot of TV stuff and little roles and movies. And, you know how it goes. All that,
Sure. It says here that you did a little bit in Prizzi's honor.
Yeah, but that's